Granville Mares, athletic leaders.
Nice. Do you still have your physical space right now through the
Uh,
pandemic?
You know what? Thank God I do. I'm actually sitting in here today.
Okay.
As of right now, we do. To be honest, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna hold on to it. If we're not allowed to open it, it doesn't really make sense right now. But
Yes.
as of now, I am still here.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That's and for those of you who don't know, both of us are in Mississauga and Granville. I was just reflecting on this the other day.
Mm.
We have been running parallel paths in getting Mississauga fit
Yes.
for like
Yes.
the last 20 years.
Definitely.
How crazy is that?
It is. It's unbelievable, but it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
It is great.
There's the lady that I had on Monday, name's Julie, and she's in New Orleans, and she
Right.
was saying that's basically the same thing that she's doing, where she's had a space and now she has like her own like studio within her home and is doing a lot of online work.
Right.
But it's not about chasing dollars; it's about just getting as many people moving as possible.
For sure. Definitely.
And I've seen over the years you've done that with your boot camps, and I just know people who have gone to you and gone through your programs and stuff like that. So can you just talk about like all the different like pre-COVID, all the different things that you're doing in terms of services?
Oh man, pre-COVID. So, you know, all our classes at Athletic Leaders, we had a lot of classes going on, online training. I'm also team leader for Strong First, so I also certify trainers, chiropractors, people that want to learn kettlebell, barbells, and body weight. So not only were we just training lots of clients, trying to get them moving, but educating fellow trainers and people that want to learn some new skills so that they could go out and teach and help more people get moving, help people get stronger. So
Yes.
we had lots of classes, lots of kettlebell certifications and seminars going on. I also teach an 8-hour kettlebell and barbell course that any trainer, anyone, you don't have to be a trainer that can learn.
Mhm. Yes.
Pre-COVID things were great. COVID came and then,
Yes.
we all we all had to go through it. Like,
Yes.
man, we'll get to it, but when it first happened, I panicked. And
Yes.
it's not like me to do that, but I panicked because I didn't really, I don't think any of us planned for this, but for like a month, I was like, oh man, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
And I was lost.
Yes.
And, thank God I ended up adapting and doing Zoom and some other things, but the first month, it was rough. And I was just like, man, what am I gonna do? So I
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely let my emotions get the best of me.
Now, and as an athlete in that moment, did you step up the way you felt you were going to step up, or did you feel like it was one of those like, let me just like retreat, strategize, and come back out? Like, how do you feel? Like, how
Yes,
would you grade your pivot?
I definitely had to retreat for a bit
Yeah.
and just, figure things out, but it didn't take too long. But when it first happened, I'm not gonna lie, this is my baby, man. You and I, we've
Yes.
both been in business almost 20 years on our own, and I was just like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
so, I do have a strong mindset, but I'm only human. So,
Hmm.
for a little bit I was stressed, but then I said, Granville, either you're gonna give up or you're gonna figure out what to do. It's funny, when the Zoom first came out, we're old school. So I was being ignorant. I'm like, yo, I'm not going on no Zoom. I don't
Yes.
care. Everyone else could do Zoom. I'm not doing Zoom.
Yeah.
And then a few weeks later, I'm on Zoom.
You're like, hi, Amazon.
Yeah.
Do that stupid wave that you don't want
Right?
to do. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Honestly, I know it's true,
Exactly.
man. But then you pivot, and now, like, and within the like, with all these Plies people that I speak to all the time, one of the things that we all reflect on is the fact that, well, two things. One, we've gotten sharper with our cues,
Right.
big time, because like you
Yes.
you only have like certain angles and stuff. And two, our people have owned their workouts in different ways.
Yes. For sure. For
Are you finding
sure.
that too with your peeps?
De- Definitely. Like, we have so many people now, and I'm happy with this, that could just train on their own now. And a lot of people
Yeah.
would say to me, Coach, they don't need you anymore. And I'm like, even if they don't, that's okay. I'm glad that we've taught enough people what to do, and they know if you have no choice but to train at home, they're going to do it. And,
Yes.
you know, they're holding themselves accountable now. They can train on their own. To me, that's a bonus.
That's
I
a
always tell my
bonus. Yeah.
clients, I love that you support me, but I don't want you to stay forever. I want you to get to a point where you can do this on your own, you know,
Yes.
because there's going to be many people who have to start where they started. So
Yes.
I'm glad for my people that are doing it. There's still a lot of people who haven't done anything since COVID, and I message everyone. I'll try and message everyone and say, hey, are you doing something? Are you moving? Are you going
Yes.
for a walk?
Are
Come
you
on, like,
moving?
yes,
Yes.
you got to do something,
Yes.
right? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's good when our students can start being self-sufficient, for
Right.
sure.
Man, when I was teaching, when I used to teach like the personal trainer, like onboarding course at Lifetime,
Right.
with all the new trainers there, the one thing I always told them was there's this paradox of when you are a really, really good trainer, you're teaching your clients to be independent. And
Right.
by teaching them to be independent, they will never leave you.
It's true. It's true.
Is that weird? Like, I mean, the fact
It
that
is.
you can give them every tool, every secret, you could empower them, you could refer
Yes.
them out, and they'll still
Right.
keep coming back.
It's true. Like, I'm blessed. I've had some ladies and gentlemen, they've been with me 12 years. And some
Yes.
12 years of personal training. They're like, hey, as long as you're alive and I'm alive, I'm not stopping.
I
So I'm
know.
like, okay, great. So,
Yeah,
you know, after 12 years, they're just like, no, like, I'm staying. So it's a blessing.
it is. It
It's
is.
definitely a blessing.
I still train the second person I ever got as a client.
Wow.
And she's always like, you're not moving, right? Like, you're not going to move. Like, as long as you don't move to the States, wherever you go, I'll go. Like, she's
Right.
been with every gym, every
Yeah.
place I've been.
Yeah.
And yes, like Jessica's saying there, it is definitely a blessing, man. Like,
100%.
and like they've entrusted us with their body.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they've entrusted us with that like, and our knowledge and stuff like that. And I put up a post last week, and I always ask people who their ideal client is.
Right.
And in my comment section there, I kind of switched it on myself, and I was writing it down. I thought of it this way: who is the person that makes you want to keep learning? Who is the person that you want to keep going back and taking another course or just doing some more
Right.
research because you always want to stay ahead of them? You always want to keep
For sure.
sharpening your craft for that person. So for you, with all the hundreds of people who have passed through your doors, so who is your ideal client?
So my ideal client, it's a man or female who, they might have lost their health a little bit, but they want help and they're looking to get back on track.
Yes.
And it's that person who they're willing to do it. They have a good attitude and they're
Yes.
putting their trust in someone to help them get to a better place.
Yep.
And, as long as they're coachable and willing to put in the work along with my help, that's who it is. Like, I want people out there who they might think it's too late or they've given up and they're like,
Yes.
man, I can't do this. I want them to know that's not true. You can do this. And it doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter anything. It just matters if you're willing to start doing something.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So many people, they've given up on themselves, but it's like, nah, you're still here. Believe me, if I haven't given up on myself, nobody should give up on themselves. Because I've been through a lot, and I'm still here, and I'm still smiling, and I have a smile on my face every day. But trust me, it's just about growth and saying, okay, I need help. I'm going to reach out, and I'm going to put my trust in the process and into someone that I know is looking out for my better interest, not just for my checkbook, but someone who actually cares. Like, people be like, Coach, you care about everyone. I'm like, yes. It's, I think every coach should. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
yes.
That's what I would say for sure.
Man, I feel you on that. And if there's anything, I'm sure it's the same for you. I have to catch myself sometimes because I almost care more about them than they do.
Than they care for themselves. Yes, it's true.
Right? So we have to
true.
rein that back in sometimes because we're so enthusiastic and they're like, all right, just cool out.
Right. Yeah.
I'm coming, but.
Right. They might not be there yet. So we got to kind of tone it down a little bit.
Yeah.
For sure.
There, of all the answers I've got to that question, one of my favorites was a lady who said, someone who is curious and courageous.
Wow. Nice.
And
I
like
like that.
I like that a lot. I wrote that down because I'm like, that captures all of what you just said there.
100%. That's in less words, that is the perfect explanation for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Feel free to use that.
Yes.
Yes. Here's a comment here from Phil. I know 4 people who at any point in their life have called me up and said I need a trainer. I would take time for them, and I was a different profession. I would come out of retirement for them.
Wow.
Yeah, like
That's
that's
big.
yeah, exactly. And that's it, right? Like I mean, there's people that you know. I go to all these like I've heard like coaches saying, well, you shouldn't like you should be making your money for all these different things and charging people and not giving stuff away for free. But there's people that my world just stops for.
Right.
You know what I
Yep,
mean? That
for
if they
sure.
came in my door, like I would train you for free the rest of your life because I know that
Hmm.
you're gonna absorb everything I say. You're gonna give it your 100% effort. You're gonna be in the and it's gonna pay me back, 100-fold somewhere else.
For sure.
You know?
For sure.
Yeah. So, but that's good stuff, man. And I have to say too, Granville, like over the years, look at your post. Um, the thing that I love about the testimonials and the things that people said about working with you is when people are celebrating that they've learned something new.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the ones with like, I've never skipped before, I'm skipping for the first time. I've never deadlifted before, I'm doing 2 plates now.
Yes.
I've
Yep.
done, that sort of thing. Like, look at this box jump that I've done. I was too
Oh
scared
yeah.
to do this the first time.
Yes. Yes.
Every one of those first, like over the years, whether I commented or not, every time I saw one of your posts with someone just giving a testimonial of, look what I could do that I wasn't able to do
Right.
before,
Right.
like that's the best for me, man. Like that
It's
is
a
it.
great feeling.
Yeah.
It's such a good feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's good stuff, man. At the same time, one of your posts just recently was about like your health condition.
Yes.
That
Oh
was
man.
scary, guy. Like, what was that?
It was so I'll
That was
never
scary for
forget.
me, and I'm just watching
Yeah.
from afar. Like that's like,
Man. June 24th, 2020, I'll never forget. Um, I was teaching a Zoom class
okay,
and like I didn't even notice what I was doing, but I just kept walking around and they told me I was flickering my lights off and on and I just didn't feel good. And then, they're like, Granville, you're supposed to be timing the workout, but you're just off. Then like 5 minutes later, I'm like, oh my gosh, my chest. So I told my 7-year-old, I'm like, run and go get, well, sorry, he's 8 now. I'm like, run and get daddy's phone.
yeah,
And everyone else in the house was sleeping. I'm like, shoot, I got to call 911. I thought I was having a heart attack.
yeah.
I never felt that much pain in my chest. My eyes went blurry and I thought I was going to die. And some of my clients, they're like crying on Zoom and they're like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with coach?
What?
And yes. And I didn't know I didn't log off. So they were even there and like, they were watching when the ambulance came to the house and everything.
Oh man.
And so the
Oh my
ambulance
gosh.
came
Yeah.
and they gave me some stuff. And it's so funny. I remember the guy asking me, he's like, did you take Viagra or something? I know you might not want to say at home. I go, no, man, I did not. Right? And I'm like, I don't know what the heck's going on. So they took me and I was in the middle. Yeah, the man asked me if I took Viagra and you don't want your woman to know. I'm like, no, dude.
That's
And,
like, oh, sorry, man.
right? And I ended up being in the Milton Hospital for 5-6 days. Come to find out that they said I have high blood pressure and high cholesterol. It's hereditary in my family. And I didn't know, some of our parents, like, you see them taking a million pills, but they never really say,
They never
hey,
tell you what's going
I'm
on.
on blood pressure meds, right?
Right.
So I'm not a doctor, but I know myself. This was July, after 3 months of being locked down.
Yeah.
I'm a business owner. I lost like 80%, 90% of my income. I'm a father. I'm a provider. I have all these responsibilities. I even have staff that I need to pay.
Great.
I was stressed.
Yes.
I think the stress spiked up my blood pressure and caused me to have that episode. So when I got out the hospital, they gave me these prescriptions. And guys, this is just for me. I would never tell anyone else to do it. I said hell no to blood pressure meds. I went to there's this naturopath in Milton who I heard is great.
Okay.
I went to him. I said, I'm not taking these blood pressure meds. Let's do this the natural way.
Mm-hmm.
And he put me on some natural supplements.
Okay.
My blood pressure is back down. Cholesterol, I don't know where that came from, but all my numbers are back down to normal. Like,
Yes.
I don't eat red meat. I don't drink. I don't do a lot of things that would make someone
Spike
have all
it. Yeah.
that. But,
Right. Yeah.
you know, I just choose to do the natural way. I don't want to be like my parents and be on pharmaceutical meds for the rest of their life.
Yes.
This is what I chose for myself. I would never tell anyone else to do it, but
Mm-hmm.
I did it the natural way and I feel much better. Another thing now, it's a third lockdown and I've learned how to deal with my stress better. The last,
Yes.
I'm not going to lie, man, the last January has been horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Personal things that I can't really speak about, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning how to deal with things different.
Yes.
Of course, if something bad happens to a family member, something you might freak out in the beginning,
Sure.
but then you got to learn. Like, I started watching Elevation again. That's my thing. Stephen Furtick, that's my
Yes.
guy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I started listening to Elevation, watching my Sunday sermons. I'm doing my breathing and stuff. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm walking more, and I'm just learning. Like, you know what, Granville? In life, things are going to be thrown at you,
Yes.
but you got to practice what you preach. You're telling your clients to stay positive, to
Mm-hmm.
do this, to do that. You got to do this for yourself. And
Yes.
so now, no matter what's being thrown at me, and I'm telling you, it's been rough, but prayer, meditation, and just taking time to analyze what's going on and not just
Yes.
freak out or, you know,
Right.
and yeah, so I'm just learning to deal with things a lot better now because I don't want to end up back in the hospital because I lost it or I get so stressed that where I feel like I'm having a heart attack or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Resilience.
Yes. Resilience, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
That yeah, for our, and even for our kids too, right? Like they need to just
Yes.
see. I mean, it's not like, and like you said, like our parents, they just, you don't know what medications are on, you don't know what
Right.
they're going through. They have their game
Yes.
face on all the time. Everything's
Always.
secretive. Next thing you know, someone's
Mm-hmm.
like in the hospital and you
Yeah.
didn't know they had
Yeah. And
some
it's like,
medical
whoa.
condition for 15 years and they never told you, right?
Exactly.
That's like West
Exactly.
people. That's the West Indian way for some reason. I don't know
Yes.
why it's so secretive, but
Mm.
at the same time, when we in this generation with our kids could see, okay, it's a rough day, this is a
Mm-hmm.
stressful time, but and then we make those pivots and we show how we can be down, but then we can come back up.
For
I
sure.
think that's a testimony as opposed to having this front like we never go down.
Exactly. And a lot of people would think, oh, coach is so strong, nothing bothers him. I'm like, guys, everyone's human, they just
Mm-hmm.
think like, oh, nothing can get to him. And it's like, yo, I'm human. I breathe the same blood as you, the same air as you,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's before I would probably be embarrassed to say I'm not okay sometimes, but I don't need to be known as that tough guy I'm not just a lifter. I'm human and I go through ups and downs too. And there's
Yes.
days where I'm not okay, but I get through it. So it's like, just because I lift a lot of weights doesn't mean I got to be that tough guy who doesn't feel
Feel
anything,
right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, do you ever kind of talk or reflect on that whole issue of like toxic masculinity?
For sure.
Because I
For
mean, like that
sure.
that totally ties into that, right? Like I could throw around big numbers so I don't have to cry about anything. Type
Right.
mindset, right?
Oh,
Like
yeah. Yeah.
I don't
It's
know,
true.
like, and that's I think about that a lot because there's so many things that we do where it's. I think our generation has moved away from that kind of stoic approach, but
Right.
I don't know. I'm kind of always evaluating where we're at and what do we say and
Right.
how do we act in situations. And
Right.
actually, you know what that brings back to my memory? Like when we started to see all these like George Floyd things
Yes.
happening, right? And then all of a sudden you start to see more like black men crying or
Oh,
black
yeah.
men emoting or black men
Right.
showing anger. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like it was our ticket to emote.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
do you remember that?
Definitely. I do.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So yeah, just I think who's that the guy from Tyrone what's his name? I can't remember his name now, but like he did a great talk just right at the outset of it, and he just said like, I am mad, like I am
Right.
mad, like
Yeah.
that.
I remember I saw that video.
Yes, yeah, yeah. That reflection on being having the permission to be an angry person
Right.
in this time, but
Exactly.
yeah. Morgan Campbell was on yesterday.
Hmm. Great
So,
man.
great man.
Hmm.
He's yeah, we had some great stories and just reflections on a bunch of stuff. And I wanted to bring to you just your thoughts on the whole term of greatness and what it means to be great. I'm just gonna throw it out there just like that, and just talk about what that means for you.
To me, just, you know, believing in yourself, setting goals, following through, just being the best that you could be. Like, for someone like me who throughout high school to like 20 something years old was told how great you are, but I
Yes.
actually wasn't. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by I wasn't. Like,
Okay.
when things come too easy to you and, you know, you don't really try your best, but you still could beat people and still be the fastest and this and that. But I
Yes.
honestly feel like the what I was in my younger years, I didn't appreciate it. I didn't care. I didn't go to practice. I didn't try my best because I
Yes.
knew I could most likely be better than most people. And I
Yes.
didn't have the mindset I have now. Like,
Yes.
the one thing that I've changed is my mindset.
Yes.
And the reason why I could say I have 30 world records and won a world championship drug free at 40 something years old is because my mindset is so different now. And
Yes.
I'm willing to put in the work. I'm willing to put in the work. And it's more than what people just see on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's just doing everything in my power to make sure that I could be the best Granville Mares that I could be. And
Yes.
people always say, oh, you're not like how you used to. I'm like, obviously, I'm not going to jump how I used to jump 20 years ago. I'm 50 pounds heavier and I'm 20 years older, but
Yes.
I'm stronger, not
Yes.
just physically, but mentally,
Yes.
you know? So
Yeah.
I think
Sorry,
just,
Graham, can I just
yeah,
jump in there one real quick?
for sure.
For those of you who didn't watch yesterday, Morgan was saying that you are probably one of the top 5 most talented athletes that he knows personally from back in the
Wow.
day.
Right.
Right? And some of those other
Wow.
names would be names that aren't like famous names. They're just people that are just crazy talented. And from our
Right.
days playing football, like,
Mhm.
just seeing you play and is in every sport, like bigger, stronger, faster,
Right.
point blank than everybody, right? Like
Hmm.
you're on all those levels. So,
Right.
and that was back in the day.
Hmm.
And I want to give you a second to just brag about like all your different records and what you do like right now. So you just said that you just glazed over how many records you have right now, like it's no big deal.
Yeah.
So like, please just rattle off some of those records and what they are.
Okay. Well, I started powerlifting at 43. I'm 46 now.
Okay.
So I have 30 drug-free world records,
Wow.
and about another 30 national records, all drug-free. And, just a few weeks ago, I was so happy. I deadlifted 705, and I went crazy. And I don't swear a lot, but I
Yeah.
had to swear in that video because people don't realize I was going through pain. I was hurt. I had a little depression, my business, and I don't know if you saw the video. I
I
showed all
did.
my
Yes.
attempts. I
Yes.
attempted 705 like 12 different times. Then that morning in December, I was playing some angry hip hop. I said, nah, take that off. I put on some nice feel good 80s R&B
Yes.
and funk. And whoever thought that Granville Mares would be deadlifting to, I think it was Earth, Wind, and Fire. That song came on, and
Yes.
I just went nuts, and I pulled 705. And like, for me to
That
be
is
46 years old
madness.
and pull 705 at 46, drug free, with a lot of pain in my hip and stuff, I'm gonna have to come to you to fix my hip,
Yes.
But it was one of the greatest feelings ever because I'm like, man, I've been trying to get over 700 for 2 years, and
Yes.
but I said I'm not giving up until I get this. Now I also know I pray to God that they don't cancel my powerlifting meet in April I'm gonna pull 750. I'm
Whew.
gonna I'm gonna pull 750, bench 500, squat 600, and then I'm gonna take a break from powerlifting because
Yeah.
my body's beat up. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out like a champ, and I'm gonna get my highest total ever. And I'm not saying I'm retiring, but I might come back in 2 years when I'm 50. But
Yes.
right now, other than my children and business and family, I'm just concentrated on getting as big and strong as I can, eating right, taking my vitamins. I don't sleep a lot. I have a 2-year-old who doesn't sleep, so I'm hoping that's going to change.
Right.
You know, my princess Aaliyah, she just doesn't sleep. But
Yeah.
from now till April, I'm just focusing on getting better. No alcohol, no fried foods, nothing bad. I just want to go out like a champ. Maybe I'm going to take a year
Yes.
off so I can fix my body. But powerlifting has given me something to look forward to. You know,
Yes.
like the documentary from the Star.
Yes.
I said it and I'll say it again. Like, not making professional football was the best thing that ever happened to me because I
Hmm.
get to coach people, and now I feel like now in my 40s I'm doing what I should have done when I was younger. I'm putting
Yes.
everything I have into powerlifting, and I don't regret it,
No.
and I'm putting it all into what I do now. Shoulda,
Yes.
coulda, woulda. I have no regrets
Right.
because I've trained thousands of people. I've helped hundreds of clients become trainers. They're
Yes.
full-time in the industry now. So I
Yes.
feel me not making the NFL, there was a reason, and I have no regrets, and I love what I do. So,
Yes.
no regrets, no regrets. And it's just
Absolutely.
because you're in your 40s doesn't mean that you can't do great things, ladies and gents. Never put age as a limit because it's not true.
It's
I'm
true.
just getting
Like,
started.
absolutely. Like our best days are still ahead of us. They're still
Definitely,
well ahead of us. Man, like,
definitely.
and I gauge everything on impact. And as you're just talking right now, too, with a similar story, like I had friends who in university were like dunking all the time and they're on the cover
Hmm.
of the magazine, of the school
Right.
newspaper, and then they went on to play for the
Hmm.
national team. And I was just fighting to get playing time.
Right.
And
Hmm.
then you moved on and then just went on with my life. And then after that, we spent all of our time giving to our clients that sense of preparation.
Right.
How do we prepare you for life, for your sport, for
Yes.
weekend warrior,
Yes.
for kids, for grandkids,
Hmm.
whatever it is?
Right.
Because we learned from our time back in the day that if we just prepared a little bit more, if we just practiced a little bit more, if we just gave a little bit
Right.
more at that time. So it,
Hmm.
like in many ways, we're redeeming the time now. We're giving that gift of preparation to
Right.
our clients, right? So I love what
Oh
you're saying.
yeah.
Like, everything you're saying there, man, is like, yeah,
And
so on.
could you imagine too? Like, I know I trained some 10-year-olds, a baseball team, and I'm like, guys, you don't know how lucky you are. At
Hmm.
10, we didn't have a coach. We weren't
No,
even, I don't think we were doing this type of training that they're doing at 10,
nope,
So
yep,
I'm like, you guys have no idea. When you're a little older, you're going to realize like, wow,
yes,
we had training from such a young age. And,
yes.
I talk to these guys about life too, not just about training,
Yes, totally. That's exactly
right?
it. Yeah,
And even at a young age of 10, I let them know, like, guys, hard work ethic. And I even tell them, I'm not coaching you if you don't respect your parents. I'm not
hmm,
coaching you if you don't do your homework.
hmm,
I expect you guys to do all these things. And I tell them, like, just be a kid. Don't try to grow up too fast. But
yes,
respect and honor is so important. And I let them know, like, disrespecting your parents or any of that, and I find out, it's unacceptable. You're going to be doing burpees for hours, like, so,
yes,
because I find the generations change, but, sometimes they might respect the coach more than they respect their parents. But as a
yes,
coach, I'm going to tell them, you need to respect your parents. If you can't respect your parents, then you can't train with me because we're
yes.
all about respect, right?
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
that's I'm really big on that. Really, really big on that.
Well, the more you do that, the more you build trust. Because like young people need another adult in their life besides their parents.
For sure. For
Right? Like, I
sure.
mean, like, my kids, I reach out, I point blank, I reach out to my friends, like to Damon and to Steve and these guys. I'm
Hmm.
like, yo,
Yeah.
you guys reach out to my son, ask him out for lunch, see how he's doing with school, like be that
Right.
adult in their life, right? So
For sure.
that's a treat for us when you have the like
Yes.
this captive audience and you could be that
For
person for
sure.
them.
Definitely.
Like anyone can make you do burpees. I'm gonna make sure that you're strong
Yeah.
mentally too.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. And it's funny, right? So I know some people are kind of joking, but they're not.
Yes.
And I just laugh because they'll come in my office and they're like, "You read?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "You read every book in your office?" I'm like, "Yeah, guys, I'm not a meathead, eh?" You know, and they're just shocked. Like when I name off some books, they're like, "Whoa!" And I'm like, "Guys, I don't just lift weights. I'm a reader now. I listen to things that you wouldn't even think." Even some of my friends will be like, "Yo, how could you train and it's not just hardcore hip hop?" I'm like, "Guys, because I don't just listen to hardcore hip hop. This is not high school anymore." And I said, "I'm not afraid to tell you guys that I'll listen to other music because if you don't agree with it, it's okay. I'm still going to listen to it." Because even the man was like, "Yo, Earth, Wind, and Fire to your deadlift?" I said, "Yo, yes, yes, and yes, and yes.
Yes.
You think you're saying you could only train to hardcore hip hop? That's fine for you.
Yes.
I'm going to listen to whatever I feel. I'll put on classic house. I'll put on rock. I'll
Yep.
put on anything because as we get older and know ourselves, it doesn't matter what people think. So it's like
Say that again.
100%, it doesn't matter. So yes, Granville listens to more than just hip hop, and it's okay.
It is not 1993 anymore.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah. Mind you, I
Exactly.
was all over that BDK though. Like when you on
Oh,
that post.
yo,
Yeah.
even Big Daddy Kane, I could say, like, I could call the man on his phone. I could message him. He messaged me back. When Big Daddy Kane came to my gym,
He came to your gym.
yo, I'll have to send you the video. He came to my gym,
Yes.
and then Josh and I went back to his hotel, chilled. When he did his concert, we're backstage with the man.
What?
And, yo, then we stayed in his dressing room till 6 in the morning just talking hip hop.
Yes.
Big Daddy Kane coming to Athletic Leaders was like, I don't know. It was, to me, my favorite rapper.
Yes.
Like, what more
That's
could you ask for?
it'd be like having Ali walk into your gym if you owned a boxing gym
Yes,
in his prime.
100%. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it was an epic day that I was training him online for a bit, doing his meal plans. I'm like, yo,
Really?
are you kidding me?
I didn't know this.
Yes. I'm going to send you the video, and you're going to be shocked. He came.
Dude, I want like your autograph for like.
Yeah, right? Yo,
that's like
it
crazy.
was epic. Yeah. I'll never forget that day.
Yeah.
Josh Finley, I'm sure you know who Josh
I know Josh.
is, right?
Yeah, I know his dad. I know the family from time. Yeah.
Josh is younger than us, but he's an old head.
Yeah.
And he used to go on Twitter saying all these Kane lyrics, and Kane's like, yo, who are these guys from Canada that know all my stuff?
Yes.
You know? And so one day he was like, yo, if I ever come to Toronto, I'm going to mess with you guys. So one day, it's like a Saturday, and I'll never forget, Josh is like, yo, where are you? Get over to the gym. I go, what are you talking? He's like, he sent me a picture. He's like, I got Kane in my car. I just picked him up. We're coming to the gym. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I jetted to the gym as fast as I could, cleaned it up a little bit, bam. Next thing I know, I'm like, holy crap, Big Daddy Kane is in my gym. What is going on? And we chilled in the gym for a few hours.
You're like fangirling right now. You're just like...
I'm not going to lie. I was like, I can't believe what's going on. Like, wow.
So you're like dead like 600 pounds and you're like screaming like a little girl because like Big Daddy Kane's coming in?
I had to keep my composure when he came and not really be like a fanboy, but I was just like, damn.
Yeah.
And the concert was off the chain. Yeah. Yes, Josh Finley. And being backstage and just chilling in the dressing room till 6 in the morning, talking life and hip hop, I'll never forget that for the rest of my life. It was just crazy. Epic moment, man.
That is
unbelievable.
Moment.
Like, I will never ever forget that day. Seriously.
Yeah. So what was something that he said that was like a takeaway or something you're like, man, I never thought of it that way? Like, is there anything that he said was just like profound that like blew you away?
No, well, not really, but you know what got me? To how humble he was. He didn't act like a celebrity. Yes. He acted just like a normal person. He treated us with so much respect. He never acted like, yo, I'm this big celebrity. Like, we walked downtown, and you know what was kind of sad? Josh and I were like, wow, we're walking downtown with this man, a legend. Yes. And nobody knows who he is.
Yeah.
A few people realize, but I was like, man, no wonder a lot of these people don't want to come to Canada. They're just like, yo, nobody knows. But
Yeah.
we're walking downtown in the middle of the day with Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah.
Yes, he aged a little bit, but he looks the same. And
Looks,
nobody recognized him. So
Yeah.
it was just like, he could walk anywhere in Toronto and not much people knew who he was.
Yes.
I don't know how that made him feel, but I was just like, guys, yo, do you know who this is? Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But I just loved how real he is.
Yes.
Even he saw Josh years later at the airport, and he went up to Josh and they talked. Like, so Big Daddy Kane is a cool brother. He doesn't act like he's better than everyone. He doesn't act like he's this big celebrity that everyone knows. He's just so humble. And we talked a lot of stuff, but just his humbleness and how real he was, I was shocked. I'm like, I've met a few celebrities. I've trained a few celebrities that didn't act like him.
Right.
He was just so regular. It was unbelievable.
Yes.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Like, he doesn't act like a big celebrity. He just acts like a normal person.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. Wow.
That's awesome story. That's a cool story. And you think about too, like, for us, and this is like, by no means am I putting us on any remote level, but think about influence, right? And like your influence on these 10-year-olds, or your influence on the people that you train day to day, right? Like, and how we leverage that to just pull more out of people and to get them to just be better at what they do.
Right.
You know, that's the thing that those are the takeaways for me when I'm thinking, okay, as we continue to touch more lives, how do we continue to have a greater influence and just let people see things from, like, you know, a real down to earth perspective, man? So
right. Even for me, like I remember I went to England. A lot of people know me in Europe through Strong First from my kettlebell pressing and stuff. But I was like, stop this. I'm not a legend. I'm just normal. And I felt weird because people are like asking for my autographs. I'm like, nah, man, I'm just like you know. But they're like, oh my goodness, like, mate, you press 68 keys. You could press 150 pounds. But I'm like, yeah, but you could do it too if you put the work in. Like, I'm not better than you. But so when people try to like put you up on a level, I'm just like, nah, guys, I'm just like you. You could be the same. You just have to apply yourself to something you love and like, and you can excel at it too. You know, as you get older, well, not everyone changes, but a lot of us change and get a little more humbler and just different as we get older. When I was younger, did I love being the popular guy and all that? Yeah, now? Nah, I'm just okay being Coach Granville, you know? Like, I'm just Coach Granville. I'm not special. We all breathe the same air. Like my guys yesterday, I told them, I send them messages, right?
Yes.
And I love David Goggins, and I love what he says, but I told them, be your best. You're not David Goggins.
Right.
And, you know, one of the guys yesterday said to another guy in our group that they need him for motivation. I said, no, you're wrong. You don't need him for motivation. You need to learn, if this guy that you're saying motivates you, you should be able to do that for yourself. I said, you guys training together on Zoom, it's great. But we're like, if he's not there for 2 weeks, are you not still going to come on Zoom? So I said, you got to learn. Like, motivation is good, but sometimes you're not going to be motivated, but you still got to do it.
You still got to do it. That consistency has to trump the motivation.
Consistency and persistence. Like, there's days I don't want to lift, but I still lift because I know lifting, one, is good for my mental health, and two, I'm on a program. I'm trying to peak for April. So the minute that I signed up for that powerlifting meet, there's no more. You can feel like you don't want to train, but you still have to do it. And I'm trying to tell my guys, you're not always going to be motivated, but you still need to train it. I know, I'm going to say something controversial. Yeah. But I'm old school, and this is not a disrespect to anyone. But I feel like I need to say it. So the fitness industry is changing. And, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying someone needs to lose 10 or 20 pounds. That's not body shaming, in my opinion. But nowadays, people are saying, if you dare talk about a weight loss or anything, you're going to hear it. Yes. In January, I was 255 pounds.
Right.
And that's unacceptable for me. Now that we're in February, I'm back to 243. I'm back at my competition weight.
Okay.
When I was 255, I wasn't at my best.
Yes.
So I'm not going to say, Granville, don't body shame yourself. Stay at 255. No.
No.
I feel better at 243 and I'm healthier. So like,
Yes.
I think some people need to realize, yes, we accept all type of body shapes and we love them.
Yes.
But if someone is 400 pounds, I'm not going to tell them it's okay to be at 400 pounds. It's not body shaming. It's saying you're not healthy at 400 pounds.
Right.
Are you going to be healthier if you get in better shape? Yes, but I don't want you to stay at 400 pounds and it's all belly and you think that you're in shape
right.
at 400 pounds, right? So
right.
I just feel like a lot of people, they're using things to where other trainers are afraid to talk about it now, but I'm not. I'm Coach G. I'm not afraid to say it, and I'm not disrespecting anyone.
No, yeah.
Because now if I give someone a transformation, should I be scared to post it? Because people are going to say, oh my gosh, not everyone wants to look like that. I get that. But if people want to better themselves, and if part of bettering yourself is getting to a healthier weight so you can be in better shape, it's not being disrespectful to anyone. But I know a lot of people are afraid to talk about it because they're afraid that people are going to just shaft them. But,
no, I hear you on that. And I agree with you because the thing is we get into this place where this cancel culture, we want to drop every phrase that sounds like it's going to shame somebody. But the key thing that you said in there was, I have a program, I have a goal, I have an objective.
Right.
So there's a difference between exercise and training right out the gate. Right. So now you're training for something. So as soon as you have a goal, you're chasing after that goal. If you want to whatever that person's goal is, and us as professionals say, well, if you're going to get to that goal, you need to do this.
Right.
That's not shaming.
Not at all. Not at all.
But when we're on someone else's post to say, you know what, you really need to lose, that's a different story.
That's a different story.
And we're not talking about that at all. We're just saying, like, when people have set objectives, and this is a formula to get to your peak performance, to your potential, to your goal. That's true. We're afraid to say that part because there's so much noise over here.
Because you're going to hear about it, but you have to stick to what you believe in. And it's not being disrespectful. Society's changing, but, you know, we're not shaming anyone. Even people would say, Coach, you're shaming yourself. No, guys, I had no business being 255. My best weight in competition is 237 in the 242 weight class. So when I'm in peak shape and eating the best that I can and not stress eating and not drinking alcohol and not doing things that I shouldn't, the weight's going to drop. But I said, and as we get older, I'm 46. So if you slip, you're going to gain. And even for our heart health, when I had the issue in the hospital, I was 250 something. I'm lighter now and I'm in better health. So, you know, I wasn't body shaming myself, but I was being honest enough to say that I have no business being 250 something. I let stress and other things help spike my weight. Then I got a hold of it and I'm in such better health. 14 to 15 pounds lighter. So even Pete came to me. Everyone, if you don't know Pete's story, you can see it on my Instagram. Pete was almost 400 pounds. So what if I said to Pete, I don't want to body shame you, stay at 400 pounds. Is he going to be healthy? Right? No. So it's like Pete's coming to me because he wants to feel better and be healthier. So if you're almost 400 pounds, you do need to lose weight. And there's nothing wrong with the coach saying, we don't have a set number, but I just want to get him in better shape and in better health. And we're still working on it. But, you know, is he an athlete at 400? Yes. Everyone's an athlete. But I'm going to make him a healthier person. By his goal is to lose 100 pounds. So I'm going to help him do that. And then we're going to analyze when he gets there and keep going. But like,
and make the next goal.
So it's not body shaming. It's people are coming because they have a goal and they want to be healthier. But you know what's funny? If a doctor tells you to lose weight, it's not body shaming. But if a trainer was to ever say that, it's body shaming to some people.
To some people. Right.
To some people.
Right.
And yeah, I just wanted to get that off my chest because I
Good.
see a lot
No.
of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, as a pioneer in this and someone who's been doing it a long time, you know, maybe by me saying this today, other people are not going to be afraid to say what they feel. As long as you're not putting someone down, you
Yes.
know, you
Yeah.
can't be afraid to stick to what you believe in,
Right.
right?
And
But
I
a
have
lot
to,
of people are.
yeah, a lot of people are. And I have to say, too, if anyone's watched this and they heard the first 15 minutes of this conversation, they would have heard your love for people.
Oh, yes.
They would have heard your passion for wellness.
Yes.
They would have
Yes.
heard your passion for your city. They would have
Right.
heard that you've been doing this for 20 years.
Yes.
When it's packaged in this absolute passion for the industry, they
Right.
know that it's not coming from a mean place when I say you need
Not
to
at
lose 10
all.
pounds. So I
Yes,
think
not at all.
it's that meanness piece too, right? Because a lot of times
Mm-hmm.
that shaming comes out of a place of superiority. It comes out of a place of
Right.
look how ripped I am. You need to be like me. You're not nothing
Yes.
until you get to this
Right.
place. Unless you
Right.
can dead 600, you're
Mm.
nobody. Like it's not,
Right.
we're not
Yeah.
saying that. Like
Never, never. Yeah. It's
so
all love. Like I've even forgiven people who have burned me financially. Like
mm,
I know you were gonna bring up a topic, but like
yes.
I've been burned so many times financially. That's probably people always say I probably shouldn't handle my own money, but you know, here's another controversial thing,
Yes.
but it's a truth, and it's sad, but it's the truth, and it's not everyone, but I'm sure you could relate,
Mm,
and I'm not going to be afraid to say it because we got to teach people. So, you know, as a black man in this industry who's been doing it for a long time, it's pretty sad when black people will come in and always ask for a discount, or I've been burned a few times by my own people.
mm,
And I know some of these same people wouldn't go into another place if the person wasn't black and screwing them over financially. So it's, man, I've gone through some things financially with people and I still forgive them and I'll still let them come back. So it's just like,
yes.
but I think people need to, like for me, barber prices went up a hell of a lot during COVID. I never said
Yes.
anything, no problem. Everything
Right.
went up, but I never asked anybody for a discount. If somebody
Thank
wants to
you.
offer one, sure, but I
Mhm.
feel like with our own people,
Yes.
because it's our own, we're gonna not feel the shame to ask them for a discount. But
Right.
where if it was someone else of a different race, they're
Mhm.
not gonna ask,
No.
right?
Right.
And I don't walk around saying, I'm team leader. You know how much knowledge I have. I'm a this, I'm a that. My prices are already fair.
Mhm.
But it's like when you when you only ask your own people for a discount, we got to stop doing that. Like I don't like just because it's another black business, I don't go and be, hey, I'm gonna talk him down on his price. I don't do that.
No.
But I think we need to educate people on not doing it. Because if you don't do it when you
Absolutely.
go to Good Life or Lifetime or these other gyms where you know you can, don't do it just because someone else is black and you're black. If you
Yes.
respect someone for what they do,
Yes.
pay what they charge. Even for me, if someone, I've trained people for free. I had kids from Jane and Finch,
Mhm.
and I just wanted them to like not get in trouble. Their parents couldn't pay me. I trained them for years for free.
Yes.
You know what my payback was? Watching these guys in the NFL and CFL, and I'm like, see, I could say I was a part of that. When
Yes.
they couldn't afford to pay, and I trained them, and look, they are in the NFL and CFL. They stayed out of trouble. So,
Yes.
you know, and I'm not saying all black people do this, but a lot do.
A lot
So,
too.
you know, we got to stop like say, oh, it's a next black person. Let me just ask for a discount. But you're going to go to Lifetime. I'm sorry, I shouldn't even name gyms, but
No,
you're
no.
going to go somewhere else.
You go to like
and
an
spend,
institution, big
yeah,
box, whatever.
You'll spend
Yeah.
$1,200 on personal training, but you're going to come to your own people and be like, yo, I can only afford 100 still. You know, it's like, come on, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
It's true. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm saying that on here all the time too. People have workshops and stuff. You know, pay full price, give them a tip. But people just trying to survive right now. And,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So if it's so affirming when you can say, good job, here's something, I'm going to pay full price. I'm going to pay for someone
Right.
else. You're running, I can't make it. This is the other thing I challenge the audience too. If there's a workshop coming up and it's something that you really think is going to be of value and you can't
Right.
make it, pay for it anyway and just give the spot away.
Exactly. See, I see that comment. It is true.
Mm-hmm.
bad for business. You don't want full paying customers. It's true.
Mhm.
Even I've even noticed COVID taught me a lesson and an eye opener. But even I said for me, if and when my gym could open again, I have to be more respectful to myself. And I'm not going to let clients who have maybe disrespected me, I'm not going to let them continue. Even if I'm willing to lose people, I've lost almost everything. So moving forward, I'm just going to stick to my guns. It's not even, I'm not going to skyrocket my prices like fitness equipment and all this other stuff. But
Yes.
if somebody can't respect what I do and what I ask for,
Yes.
which is always reasonable, then they're probably not someone you should be working with.
Absolutely.
Right? There has to come a point in time where you're like, okay, you know what? Enough is enough now. But that's why some of us, it's probably better to have someone else deal with our money and we don't deal with the money ourselves. Because I'm a really nice person, so it's really easy to take advantage of me. It doesn't matter how big and strong I am. Somebody comes with a sob story,
yeah.
Okay, no problem, you know? So,
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, no, that's true. So we just respecting, you just have to respect your expertise, your years of education,
right.
You know, the space that you're in, the climate that we're in. There's so many things there that, yeah, we should be able to just respect that. And I see those comments like Roxy and Kara there too. More Toronto people doing their thing.
My sister's on there too.
Oh yeah, nice, man.
Yeah.
Man, we are overtime.
I know, and I feel like we could talk for hours.
We could talk for hours, absolutely. I mean, I think, and we just scratched the surface. We didn't really talk about, you know, even like what Morgan was saying yesterday about the expectations that are imposed on you when you're young and great.
Right.
And then the pressure to live up to that, right? Like,
yes, I could tell you, I have a full hour of that. Like, a lot of people don't understand. I was like, people thought I was like, when you're known as Granville the Great and there's so much, do you know how much people just expect me to make the NFL? People just expect you to, and the thing about it, back then, when your parents aren't really involved because they're too busy working and stuff, and they didn't really realize what their child has.
Yes.
And you're basically just doing it by yourself. But I'm telling you, I couldn't even live up to the pressure of being Granville Mears. Everyone expected me to just be perfect, and when it came to anything physical, they just thought I can do whatever. But
you could do it.
But there was nobody out there, like nobody older out there, just being like, hey, this is what you're going to encounter.
Yes.
You know, you need to do, like, I just felt like it was a lot of pressure to be known as like such an elite athlete.
Yes.
And then you have to live up to that name. Yes. And that's why things didn't work out. Like, I had every school in the US came to Woodlands, but I didn't have the grades. Had to go to prep school. I ended up leaving prep school because of a bad attitude. Then I had other opportunities, and I always left because I was like, man, this is just freaking too much. Everyone expects me to be perfect.
Yes.
And sometimes you just don't want to be perfect, you know?
Great. Yes.
But this is a whole another long conversation, but that's why now with young athletes, and I talk to their parents, I'm like, listen, please speak to your children, especially if your child is gifted, you have to talk to them.
Yes.
Like, I had a really close friend whose child was a superstar athlete and had everything going for them. Unfortunately, they took their own life. So sometimes it's too much pressure for teenagers to live up to that standard, but we got to speak to them and be there for them, because if I couldn't handle it back in the day, and definitely now for sure 40 years later, when things have changed, a lot of these kids can't handle that pressure. So people don't understand when you're known as an elite athlete and people just expect you to be great at everything. It's a lot of pressure, a lot.
Yeah. I didn't know what to say to that. Like, I'm a contemporary. I witnessed that era and knew that you were head and shoulders above everybody, and that's all we saw. We had no, and like we're kids, right? So we're all kids. So we're ignorant of what's going on in your head.
Oh yeah.
We just wait to see this guy perform.
Yep, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're going to the NFL." And one time I'll never forget. It was at a party at Changes. You remember Changes at all night? all the, and
Yes.
I drank a little bit,
Yeah.
but I remember being outside and Roger Smith, I'm crying on his shoulder, and I'm like, F Roger, you don't understand what it takes to be Granville Mears. I can't take this anymore. And I just started sobbing on this man's shoulder. I think I was 18, 19, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm tired of this.
Yeah.
I was just tired, and I cried on the man's shoulder, and I'll
Yeah.
never forget it. Like I was like,
Yeah.
it is too much pressure, man. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm telling you, people just saw greatness, but they didn't know all the other stuff that came up with it, like
Yes.
the expectation of making it in the NFL and stuff. It was just a lot to handle.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
And
like
and
a lot.
the story's not done yet, but at this point
Right.
in your story, you're at such a
Mhm.
great spot, man. Like
Mhm.
you're like so good.
I love where I'm at, and like I tell people, age is just a number.
Yes.
I didn't think I'd be setting world records in my 40s, and I'm just getting started. So like, yeah, I didn't make the pros, but now I'm doing things that I love, and I'm excelling at it in my 40s. And I've
Yes.
only been in powerlifting for 4 years. So
Yes.
as long as I could keep my body from not being in so much pain and stuff, sky's the limit. Who knows, by 50, I could lift some numbers that no human being drug-free has ever lifted. So
Right. Yes. Yeah.
this is right, and sky's the limit. But I have, like I said earlier, man, no regrets at all. Zero
Yes.
regrets. Zero regrets.
Man. So inspirational.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Just true. I've seen my sons have played ball, and the pressure is crazy. Kids could have been the best of them. Yeah, it's true.
That's my sister. Her
Yeah.
sons, injuries and stuff, but it's just a lot of pressure. Even Keon, everyone thinks Keon is my son. He looks like me, my sister's first son, and he had all that pressure too of everyone thinking you're just gonna go to D1 and make the NBA.
You're just gonna waltz
He ended
in.
up having like 5 knee surgeries, and but he had a lot of pressure too. Everyone just thinking, oh, Keon's going to the NBA. It's not easy, man.
Mm-mm.
It's not easy,
Not easy.
but we all have grown, and even Keon's a great young man now, and he's helping out with the younger basketball players, younger generation. He's so mature now, and I'm so proud of my nephew to see the type of man he's become now. So just because guys didn't make it, it's okay, because he has no regrets either, and he's helping mold these young basketball players to have a proper attitude and just how to do things the right way.
Yes.
So you end up giving back in different ways,
and you end up being a success in different ways.
Definitely.
Right? We
Definitely.
we have someone else's definition of success imposed upon us.
Right.
And then we're chasing after someone else's definition. And then we hit this point in our lives where we recognize that I am a success.
Right.
I have learned from these things. I have resilience. I have what it takes.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And it's just getting better from here, man. So
for sure. We're all just getting started, man. And
yes.
We have so much more to give, so much more to do.
Yep.
And you and myself both, we're all about helping people, get them moving. Like, I want to help 1 million people if I can,
Absolutely.
I want more people on Zoom. I want more people online. Like, I want more people to start moving and caring more about their health. Even I tell people, start walking, do something, but don't sit there just watching CNN all day and getting more depressed. We need to be active. Even start off by drinking more water, go for a walk, do things, but watch what you put into your mind, because if you're just going to watch the news all day, you're going to be very depressed.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So, it's not just about us coaching people, it's about coaching them in life itself.
Yes, absolutely. All right, man. Let's shut it down there. We should get me, you, and Morgan on, and we'll just we can just talk
for sure.
Because there's so many different things here, and
so many.
I'm gonna be chewing on this conversation for the rest of the day for sure.
Definitely. Me too. I'd love to do this again with the three of us, because there's so much more we can talk about. I know we're over the time, but we have a lot more to say for sure.
Yep, man.
For sure.
And man, it's been a pleasure walking this path with you, man. We're doing this for Mississauga, so
Yes, Mississauga represent.
Right.
I live in Milton now, but I'm a Mississaugan forever.
Yes.
For sure.
All right, great. Well,
Definitely.
thank you so much for your time, man.
You're welcome, man. Have a blessed day.
All right, thank
All right.
you.
Take care, everyone. All right. See ya.
What a great end.